Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for the new PISSGRAVE album called POSTHUMOUS HUMILIATIon. So yeah, in the background we're playing Death Spiritual Healing, of course. Classic shit you should all know. So anyways, this album came out last Friday on February 28th. And honestly, this is, so far I thought the new Encoffinize was my favorite death metal album of the year so far, and this is starting to kind of be up there at about the same, honestly, because this album is just as good, and it's so fucking good. If you don't know who PISSGRAVE are, they're a death metal band from Pennsylvania, and they play a really, really nasty style of death metal, because they mix like old school death metal with really raw production, with like elements of war metal, especially in the vocals. The vocals remind me a lot of like Revenge, like the more higher pitched Revenge vocals, but just a little bit nastier. So you get a combination of these two fucking crazy genres, and it just makes a fucking, like, just one of the most chaotic sounding bands I've ever heard, honestly. And this album is like even better than their debut, Suicide Euphoria, which came out a few years ago. And that was pretty well received, but I think this one's even better, honestly. And this one seems to be getting even better reviews and stuff, because this is just a damn good album. So anyways, this was released through Profound Lore Records. It's 43 minutes and 25 seconds, and it's their second full length. First thing I can say about this album that you'll notice when you like look it up or whatever is the fucking album cover. It's absolutely disgusting, because it's literally like an actual picture of a dude's face like falling apart. And it's fucking disgusting, and it's fucked up. Like think like gore grind type shit, like Mexico Disgorge, like Last Days of Humanity, maybe Viscera Infest, I don't know. Like those kind of album covers where it's real pictures. This kind of falls into that category, although this isn't gore grind. But this is probably just as nasty in my opinion. But yeah, this album cover is fucking disgusting. So if you're easily offended by like violent album covers, especially if they're real pictures, then stay far the fuck away from this, because it's nasty as fuck, and it suits the music even more. Honestly, it makes the music feel more fucked up, which is fucking great. I will say, the first thing I noticed when I was listening to this album was that the production's a lot less noisy than their debut, Suicide Euphoria. It's still very raw and it's still very nasty sounding, but it's not quite as rough around the edges and noisy sounding. Like, it's still very extreme, if not more extreme, but the production is a little less hard to listen to. Like, okay, like on Suicide Euphoria, there's some parts where you just hear like a really loud whistling sound in the background, kind of, but it's like a really low-pitched whistle. It's weird. Well, on this album, you don't have that at all. It sounds clear, and you can make out the riffs a little bit easier, and everything sounds like you can make out pretty much everything except for the bass pretty clearly. Also, the guitar riffs got kind of buried in the mix, and so did the drums and everything. It was just like Suicide Euphoria sounded really noisy, and this one sounds a lot more clean, but still very gross. It's just a little more organized, I should say, not clean. Oh, but yeah, the production on this album is great, though. It just fits perfectly. It's nasty, but it's listenable, though. It's not, like, too nasty to the point where it's, like, I can't make out any of the riffs. I will say this, the fucking vocals and the drums, in particular, on this album, though, they do sound a lot more vicious than on the debut album. Because the vocals were pretty much, like, it was, like, war metal-y vocals on the debut. But on here, they feel even more present, and the vocals are my favorite part of this album, because the vocals are just evil and fucked up sounding. You gotta hear them to understand what I mean. They just sound so fucking just awesome. And the drumming is just really frantic. The drum sound is a little bit thin, but it just doesn't really slow down ever, honestly. It just keeps pummeling away at you. So the drum sound is super fucking heavy, even if it's thin. It just sounds fucking awesome. So yeah, the riffs, they do stick out a lot more on the debut. They're pretty cool sounding, and the guitar tone is pretty solid for this really nasty style of death metal. Nothing too fancy. It's just super raw, very buzzsaw-y, like super tremolo-picked riffs. If you like old Deicide riffs, you'll like this definitely. Yeah, the drum sound, it's like I said, it's still very nasty, just a little thinner, and the vocals are even better, even more aggressive, and even more evil sounding. The bass, like I said, it's inaudible, but there really isn't a problem, because who listens to death metal like this to hear the bass? I don't know. So the album starts out with the song Euthanasia. It's just one of the best songs on the album. And it just really kicks you right in the nuts as soon as you turn it on. There's no intro or anything. It just kicks right into blast beats and shit, which I love. Because a lot of bands don't do that. A lot of bands will have like 30 seconds or whatever, a sample, like, I don't know. But like this album just kind of goes right in and kicks you. You get, like, you pretty much understand what this album is going to be the second you start listening to it. But yeah, this album does feel a lot more aggressive than Suicide Euphoria, and like it's almost at a constant like breakneck pace, like kind of similar to War Metal, but just without like the slower parts with the caveman riffs. You don't have any of that. This is just fucking fast for pretty much the whole album, except for the closing track, which is actually surprisingly kind of like melodic, just a little bit. So yeah. Yeah, the guitar work, it's really similar to like early D-side, maybe like a less technical Cryptopsy. The song Funeral version, probably my favorite song on the album. It opens up with this really kick-ass riff. This album just sounds evil and nasty. It's great. And just the intro of that song reminds me a little bit of Incantation's Unholy Massacre, although it's a lot more nasty. It's way more evil sounding than Incantation. I love Incantation, but different style of death metal. Just the riff and the song structure kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And there's a lot of moments in this album that like build up tension. Like it'll still be fast, but you could tell it's building up to something, and then it'll break into an even more fast and even more chaotic part, which is just great. And it's like one of those satisfying things to hold to fucking listen to. And it's just really heavy, honestly. This album just shows really that this year is going to be, and it's being so far, a great year for underground death metal. Because this is definitely an album that's going to be remembered. Like I can see people talking about this album like years from now. It's that fucking good. I feel like this is like the None So Vile to their Blasphemy Made Flesh, Suicide Euphoria being like their Blasphemy Made Flesh, because they kind of got better production and they got heavier and nastier, and they just sound more violent and more disgusting. And this album is just fucking great. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know. My only problem is that the riffs don't really stick in your head, but that's not really the point. The riffs are still very nasty. But it's kind of like with War Metal, where it's like you don't really get a War Metal riff stuck in your head, but it sounds fucking cool when you listen to it. I don't know. But yeah, this is an amazing album, though. If you're into fucking super heavy, super nasty shit, you will definitely enjoy this. And there's a lot of hype for this album, and for good fucking reason. This is just a great release. But yeah, I highly recommend the new PISSGRAVE album, Posthumous Humiliation. Just awesome, nasty fucking shit. Really, just, I don't know. This is just a great release that makes you proud to be a death metal fan almost, because it's so good, because you feel lucky to like discover shit like this. That's how fucking good it is. But yeah, that's it for this video though. Hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely check out this album if it sounds interesting to you. And yeah, hope you guys, I already said hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.